Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jyotsna and today we're going to discuss what are the qualities that are unattractive in you. These are all the things that I learned from books, and frankly speaking, there's some of the traits that I personally had, which is why I felt like it'll be important and useful for people to know about it as well. I'll leave a link for all the books in the description box, so if you do want to check out the books and read them, you can go ahead and read them as well. So yeah, let's get started. The first unattractive quality is talking too much, or like just being too talkative, especially in like social settings. And this quality kind of applies even to me because I am someone who is super talkative by nature. I talk a lot, and that's probably one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel, because talking a lot is something that comes very easy and like effortlessly for me. I can like sit in front of the camera and talk for hours, but apparently talking too much makes other people perceive you as someone who is self-centered, self-obsessed, and is just selfish, like someone who does not care about other people's opinions or does not value what they have to say and is just not empathetic or a great listener. People want to have a genuine connection where it's not like a one-way conversation but more like understanding and exchanging information about each other. People who are talkative, especially in a social setting, come off as someone who is self-absorbed and does not care about what others think or what others have to say, especially when you're on dates or when you're going to like maybe hang out with your friends, not asking them the right questions, not connecting with them, and just telling them too much about your life, your opinion, just puts you under a spotlight where people think you don't genuinely care about them. It is not ideal in every situation to have like a healthy balance of talking and listening. Sometimes there are people who have to talk more, and there are a few other people who are a little shy or introverted and might talk less. But being an initiator, giving them that compassion and warmth, asking them the right questions, listening to them intently can actually make a person open up. And if a person is shy or introverted, you can just ask them questions, initiate a conversation, maybe talk a little bit about yourself, and then ask them, oh, what about you? What do you think of this? Just this little effort of trying to understand other people, listening to them, giving your viewpoint, but at the same time getting them involved in the conversation and understanding and grasping their psychology. That is so important, and it is such an attractive trait. So the next time you go out, I would say just be a little more mindful, especially if you're a talkative person like me. An unattractive trait that you have might be arguing too much. And trust me, I felt so bad when I read this because I am someone who loves having healthy arguments with my friends. I love having an opinion. I love, fighting about my opinion or talking about it, but in a polite way. I don't try or I don't imply on putting the other person down or saying something that might offend them. But unfortunately, we do not really understand other people's moods, or we don't really perceive them well. So when you are in a social setting and you're arguing too much, it just comes off as someone who is very annoying and someone who is highly opinionated or judgmental. And you never know if your argument, whatever point you're trying to state, might offend other people or they might actually get hurt. There are a lot of people who are very good at concealing their inner feelings and emotions. So even if they argue and they lose that argument, they might act like, oh, it doesn't matter, I don't care. But sometimes people are sensitive and they do find it offensive or they do get hurt by it and remember it. So that is why it is unattractive if you sort of hurt other people and get them offended, even if the point that you're arguing was sort of right. So yeah, arguing, raising your voice, or just creating a scene, maybe even if it's a dramatic scene in front of people, is just perceived as unattractive. So the next unattractive trait is being judgmental and gossiping a lot about people. And this is something that I know is sort of unavoidable, especially in a social setting. There is always going to be that one friend who will bring up someone's topic and either make fun of them or say something negative about them or just gossip about their life. And I totally get it. It happens a lot and it is a very normal thing for a lot of people to talk about other people. But the problem in this is every person who has talked bad about their own friends or about someone that I know, I have automatically lost a little bit of trust in them. When a person talks about another person behind their back and you know that this person has been friends with them, it automatically makes you wonder inside your head, does this person talk about me as well behind my back when I am not there? Usually, whenever I have noticed is whenever I say something negative or give a lot of negative energy to someone, I somehow attract it back into my life. So I'm a lot more mindful about how I judge people, because there might be people living life the way that they want to and it's their choice, and I feel like I have no right to judge them, just like how they have no right to judge or perceive my life, because I live my life the way I want to. And I know this is sort of going into a spiritual direction, but honestly, judging other people, especially in a social setting, I would say is very unattractive. At least I completely lose my trust in a person who is doing that. And if that person is so comfortable to talk about another person negatively or judge someone negatively in front of a lot of people, I'm sure that they do that about you as well. Another unattractive quality is when you're being too closed off. So a lot of people have this new trend of, being more mysterious can make a person very attractive. And I understand that a lot of people love when, they can't figure out a person and the whole, oh my God, what is she thinking? Or how is she going to react? And a lot of people find being mysterious very attractive. But again, you might want to dial it down and not go to the extreme level where you are completely closed off to another person. If you do not reveal details about yourself and you don't have that openness quality when you meet people, automatically people are going to perceive you as someone who is emotionally detached and is not a very emotionally balanced person. Like they're going to think that this girl does not even care and she does not even want to open up. She doesn't want to tell anything. What is the deal with her? Why is she so secretive? So automatically, even if a person finds you very attractive, they're not going to like you anymore because they feel like you're not trustworthy. So yeah, having that excessive pride and not revealing too much about yourself can be very unattractive. The trait that is making you super unattractive is whining and complaining. And trust me, this is a trait that even I find very annoying, especially in a group setting. When there is a person who is just killing the energy of the group by complaining too much, sulking too much, or just whining about something that happened at work and saying, oh my God, this is like crazy. And please don't think that whining or complaining is related to like venting out. I understand that sometimes you just need to go with your girlfriends and just vent and, speak about our life. It's sort of like therapy when you're venting out to your girlfriends. But I'm talking about the kind of social setting where you're there to have fun, you're there to like enjoy, you're there to like hang out and like, talk about amazing things. And all of a sudden there's that one person complaining, whining, and telling you all the negative things happening in their life and just, having that victim mentality. It's so off-putting, so unattractive. Make sure that you're in a social setting where you all are having fun, or maybe that's a way you guys are bonding, or there's like a sense of humor behind it. Don't do it in a way which just brings negative energy into the group, because there are times when, everyone's having so much fun and there's one person who comes and says, oh my God, like this is so boring and like this is so bad, like why are we here? We could have gone to a better place. You know what I mean? So that is just to give you an example of how complainers can really ruin the party mood or just mood in general of wherever you are. The next time you're out with a lot of people and you're having fun, I would say just don't whine around them. It makes you sound like a baby, and most of the time people don't care about the 101 problems that you have. People want to bond with you, connect with you, to have fun and to have some positive energy and to just socialize. So just whining and complaining just makes you sound like a baby, and you just bring a lot of negative energy into the group. Another unattractive trait is being extremely submissive, and by extremely submissive I mean to a point where you just agree with everything the other person says. You don't have your own ideas, you don't have your own opinions, you just agree with everything the other person says. If the other person says the trees are actually blue in color, they're not green, you're like, oh my God, you're right. they are always blue. And it might be someone who is maybe like your manager or even like a team leader that you want to impress, and maybe that is why you want to agree with everything they say, and you might want to say, oh my god, you're right, oh my god, you know what you're saying. But it actually turns out to be very unattractive to the other people, because A, they don't think you have your own mind, they don't think you have an opinion, they don't think you're thinking about anything, and B, they're just going to see it as a form of flattery, and they might see it as something like, oh, this person is just trying to compliment me or is trying to agree with me because they just want maybe a promotion at work, or maybe they want something from me, which is why they're agreeing. So it just tends to be very fake and very artificial. Most attractive trait, according to me, is like having a mind of your own and knowing how to hold a conversation. But on the other hand, if there is a person who is maybe having a conversation with me and is just agreeing with everything that I say, I'm going to perceive it as a boring conversation. Like, that person is just agreeing with everything that I'm saying. There's like nothing to talk about. There is no different opinion. There is no different thinking perspective. So being extremely submissive and just, you know, jumping whenever you're jumping, or like just agreeing to whatever your opinion is very boring, and people can find that very unattractive. Last unattractive trait is when you're being selfish and you're concerned about your own pleasure. Often there are times when we only care about our convenience and availability, and we completely disregard the availability and maybe the convenience of the other person. And sometimes friendships continue because you just want a favor from someone, and maybe that person wants a favor from you. So this is actually in a way very unattractive. And if there is a friend of yours who is, you know, someone who just talks to you or calls you up when they need favors or wants to meet you whenever they need favor, not putting in any efforts and not being concerned about other people's availability, their time, their convenience, is very off-putting and something very unattractive. So yeah, at the end of the day, you want to be someone who is equally involved and puts in equal efforts, whether it's a friendship, relationship, whatever, and just not be selfish, you know, because the minute you're selfish, you never know when that friendship's going to end. It's definitely going to end after a while. That was it, guys. These were all the qualities I wanted to highlight. There are so many more that I want to talk about, but maybe in another video, because this video is already very long. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Lots of love. Bye.